I haven't had
right,
coffee yet, so this is going to be good.
Moron. Okay.
And I am fired up for some reason.
This is going to be a fun dynamic.
Biggest real Game of Thrones around here.
Very good.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, it's Sean and Hannah back for a DC video where we are going to react to the brand new trailer for Shazam, Fury of the Gods. This just dropped. Neither one of us have watched it. We're going to watch it together and then comment on it. Hannah, on a 1 to 10, what is your excitement level for this trailer?
Don't ask me questions like that when I haven't had coffee, Sean.
Well, I want to know. I need to know going into
like
it
for this
how
trailer
you feel about
specifically
Shazam.
or for Shazam 2?
Well, let's say Shazam 2.
Okay, I was
How do you
going to
feel?
say, because the
how
second
excited are you for the
trailer, it's
movie?
kind of hard to... I'm excited for Shazam 2. I recently rewatched the first Shazam, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I remember enjoying it when I first watched it. I love Rachel Zegler, so I'm excited for that. Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, what I think is a trio of villains.
Yes.
We will find out maybe in this trailer. I'm skeptical of
daughters
Rachel
of
Zegler.
Athena.
I don't think she's gonna be bad.
If I'm being honest.
My big hope going into it is just an increased production budget. Like the one thing that knocks the first Shazam is just I don't think Warner Brothers had enough confidence in it, so it looks cheap.
Yeah.
And I think David Sandberg, who is a talented director, had a budget, right? So I hope that Warner Brothers poured a little bit, because then you look at Aquaman, like James Wan was given, a blank check to essentially create an underwater world, and I want to see that for Shazam. I want to see, embrace the power of magic and all the cool things that the hero can do.
And we even talked about that, or maybe we did. I think with like just the costumes after the first trailer dropped at Comic-Con, of like seeing that increased sort of like on the same playing field as the Aquaman costume with like the brushed metal, and like we lost the hoods on the capes, and so from that aspect alone, it seems like they've leveled up. But yeah, should we dive in and
let's go
see if we can see that elsewhere? Okay.
I am very excited. All right, I am hovering over my play button. All right, 3, 2, 1.
We are at war. We will annihilate everything.
See, the action already looks so much better.
Yeah.
Nothing to stop us.
You are very menacing. I just want you to know that.
I think he can be funny. I like him
Oh,
as a
I do,
character.
yeah.
Changed in the last few years. The wizard gave me superpowers. And then everybody got superpowers.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
All right, here's the situation.
It just looks better.
From the bottom, now the whole team here.
The daughters of Atlas are coming to hunt us.
Children stole the power of the gods. You ripped it from our fathers.
Cool Goonies t-shirt.
Okay, I feel like maybe I should be writing all this down.
Give us the powers, child.
Your world will not survive this.
You want these powers? Come get them!
Hey, Khaleesi!
That's for you, Hannah. Little Game of Thrones reference.
All right,
There she is.
we have one job to do. Save the world.
I don't know how we fight powers like this.
I can't do this. Take my powers back. You gave them to me so you could take them back, right?
I spent millennia searching for a worthy champion. You know exactly what must be done.
Billy, what are you doing? I have to do this.
We end this now.
Is this the whole movie?
I feel like I already have a qualm.
Showing an awful lot.
But this looks really, really good if we're talking about just using your budget.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that looks badass.
Yeah.
Still not a lot of Rachel Zegler.
No, and I feel like that's probably intentional, so fine. I guess we'll just have to wait and see the movie. But okay, so just to start, overall thoughts? Hype level changed?
I mean, it looks exactly what a sequel should do, right? Which is amplify what worked in the first movie. You know, take everything up another level. So the action looks far more intense. You know, we didn't really get an action set piece in the first Shazam until kind of the end, you know, for the fight at the Christmas festival. There's a little chase bit in the middle of it, but not significant.
A lot of it is like watching him learn to use his powers, which is like funny and cool, but it's not, you're right, it's not like this big sort of like action pieces that you would expect from a major superhero film.
And not just Shazam, but like the Shazam family. If you have multiple ones, then they should be involved in different things as well too. I didn't realize that the story was about, you know, these daughters of Athena stealing the powers back. I think that's pretty cool. I think seeing them get taken away from Billy's foster family is pretty exciting. And
See, this is my qualm though. And I know that this is part of just like the genre, but like I am so sick of the sequel being let's watch the hero lose their power or want to give up their power. Like maybe I just feel like that's been happening a lot recently.
Right.
Specifically, obviously thinking of like Wonder Woman 84, the Wonder Woman sequel is literally that. And so, again, not having seen this movie, if that's what they're going for, which she clearly says in that trailer, like, take my powers back or whatever, like, it's just like...
I know. And, like, Tobey Maguire's first Spider-Man trilogy, you know,
well,
the
like, that's
Amazing Spider-Man 2
but,
is
like,
him losing the power.
We all don't need to go do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but maybe they have a decent reason for explaining why. We shall see. We shall see how it all plays out. And you're right. I think that Rachel Zegler has some type of wild card involvement. You know,
she's also been super secretive. I don't know if you remember, but for like the longest time, no one knew who she was playing. There still aren't really a lot of details about it. So
she's clearly not with the two other sisters when they show up at the beginning of the trailer to start, you know, wreaking havoc.
Unless it's one of those situations where they wiped her from the shot
for
the trailer, which those are always tricky.
I like that you're coming up with these. Pulling a No Way Home.
Constantly skeptical about everything. Yes.
I thought Zachary Levi looked funny. I would assume that the family is going to get more to do in this. They didn't get a whole ton. It was a lot of Shazam, which is fine. I mean, that's great. It's his movie essentially. But I think what makes Shazam different so far from what we've seen in the DCEU is. Or the DCU. I have to stop calling it.
I know, it's hard.
Yeah, it's going to be strange. Is the fact that he has this foster family, that he's a teenager who's so reliant on his siblings and then his foster parents and stuff. So I hope they don't get rid of that. You know, I think that's an important dynamic for the film.
Part about Shazam is like Zachary Levi and is it Jack Dylan Grazer?
Wow.
Freddy and Shazam, like that's the like whole charm of the first Shazam. So yeah, I hope that we get to see that, even though I would still love to see more of like the adult Shazam Lee, but like I hope they keep some of that still. Yeah.
But the production value looks incredible. Like the dragon really looks sick, and you know the powers look incredible, and the flying looks great. So you know. It seems like they've ramped up everything that's part of it. And what's great about it is we don't have a long time to wait until it gets here. It's, you know, arriving in March. Yeah, so that's cool. That means it shows a lot of confidence in how, but although I know it got moved back, and I wonder when they moved it, if they realized how crowded March was going to be. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be finished, but you also have John Wick and Dungeons and Dragons, and it just feels like a couple of big March movies that are going to be playing. So.
No, doggy, you have to move.
Also, okay, let's talk about the wrinkle of this entire thing, which is just like, obviously everybody, like we're all excited for Shazam. It did really well at the box office. I think there's a general interest just from what I've seen on social media, but with James Gunn potentially imminently announcing some stuff from his DCU slate, does it make you any more or less excited about this movie, knowing that it might not matter? In the terms of the larger world building, not that it wouldn't matter because it's a movie. And
I know. I'd be lying if I said that, you know, that I wasn't, not that it makes me less interested in this movie, but it does feel a little bit more like a leftover element of the previous regime. You know, that unless if James Gunn's plan comes out and it's all standalone type stuff, you know, and the franchises that exist will continue to be the franchises that they are, like we'll keep seeing Aquaman movies, we'll keep seeing Shazam movies, and there isn't a need to force everything together. But I don't think that's his plan. I think ultimately he's trying to create a universe where all these things coexist. You know, because then this Aquaman movie that's coming up and this Shazam movie that's coming up, they won't lead to anything else. But Zachary Levi has kind of made it clear that he thinks he has a future as the character. You know, he has said in interviews that he plans to continue to keep playing Shazam. And so maybe someone has told him something. Henry Cavill also thought he was back as Superman.
I know, I was going to say, I wonder how much of that is. But yeah, I mean, I saw that James Gunn told somebody that he's not, this month, whatever he's announcing is not going to be the full 8 to 10 year slate. Sure. He's just going to announce, he said, a few projects from the first chapter. So yeah, you're totally right. There could be a world in which he's just like, I'm doing this Superman movie, we're doing a Lobo movie, like, and not really commenting on a lot of the larger questions that we have about, you know, what does this mean for the Flash and all these different actors and what world are we in and how does it connect and is Peacemaker season 2 going to be released and all these questions that would ultimately step on the marketing of these movies that Warner Brothers has poured a lot of money into. And I'm sure David Zaslav doesn't want to just have, you know, James Gunn's plan completely, you know, stomp all over that. So,
but now we should take a step back and again acknowledge that I think it's the minority of the people who are paying attention to this. The majority of the people who go to it just want to be entertained by a Shazam movie, right? The bulk of the mainstream audience is not really going in being like, is this part of James Gunn's 8 to 10 year plan? Like, I don't think they care. But I will also throw a little shade at Marvel, you know, that it does feel that some of their most recent movies and television shows have been more focused on sustaining the larger picture than being entertaining in and of themselves. And, you know, I'm going to throw the Doctor Strange movie and I'm going to throw Love and Thunder under the bus a little bit in that I just want Shazam to be an entertaining Shazam movie from start to finish. You know, I don't need it to be setting up for half of its time.
I mean, that's what the first Shazam did, and it worked well.
It did. Yes, exactly. And so if James Gunn comes out and just says, look, we're going to have movies that are contained and entertaining in and of themselves and not weaved into some larger fabric, then maybe that's a lesson that you're learning from where the MCU has gotten itself to, because, you know, Marvel was extremely successful for a long time. And there's a lot of people nowadays who talk about, and I think you even said it on one of our videos, that like you don't watch every single one of them, or there's people who tell me all the time, like, all right, I haven't seen like the last 3 or 4. Like, do I have to keep up with all this? And God forbid they don't watch the Disney Plus shows. So, you know, it's probably behooves Shazam and maybe even Aquaman that they're not part of a bigger template. You know, they can just be their own thing, and those filmmakers can focus on the stories that they want to tell.
I do wonder, though, I bet we're going to get a cameo or 2.
Because there's plenty of fish in the sea.
If not Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Because do you remember that story that, like, Dwayne Johnson turned down a cameo in this movie?
In Shazam?
Yeah, in Shazam Fury of the Gods. They were like, do you want to be in it? And he was like, nah.
That's crazy, right?
He has not been on board with the Shazam franchise.
Which, like, why?
I don't know.
Like, Black Adam is a Shazam character.
Yeah, maybe he learned at some point that Black Adam wasn't going anywhere.
So, like, why wouldn't he want to just be part of that in some small way?
It'd be pretty amazing if he showed up, like, at the end of it or was part of the third act or some such thing. But he seemed pretty convinced on what I saw in Black Adam.
Your words, not mine. But yeah.
On a first glance, I'm pretty impressed. I wouldn't say more fired up for the movie, but I'm about the same level of fired up. I thought it was going to be a step up from the first film, and it looks like it's going to be. And all the elements seem to be working. Did it change your mind in any way, shape, or form?
No, but I think it's just because it is a second trailer, so a lot of the footage, like, we kind of already knew the gist of a lot of this stuff, so I was already excited. I will say, just tonally, it looks like it's going to tackle a lot more, just emotionally. Like, the first Shazam was pretty, I don't want to say, like, simple, but it was, like, kind of cutesy and, like, leaned a lot on the humor aspect of, like, putting a teenager in an adult body, which is great, but it looks like this is kind of leveling up and maturing with its audience, which I'm excited to see more of.
Ooh, a lot of Djimon Hounsou in our world. That's kind of exciting. Hope they explain in greater detail how this guy who spent, as he says, millennia, you know, looking for a champion, is coming out and fighting alongside Billy. So that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of meat.
Yes, this is what we're looking for in our trailers. All right, so the next video that we end up doing will probably be after James Gunn reveals what the future of DC films looks like. So to make sure that you do not miss that video when we post it, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. And the moment that Hannah and I post our latest DC films video, you guys will be the very first ones to hear about it.